cut it again. So what is up, guys? Episode 4 of the Tech Lounge. I'm joined by Kev Showdown. We'll say it again. How you doing, Kev?
Tech Showdown. You guys can stop going crazy. I'm joined here by Brian City. Yeah, man. No, everything's been real good, bro. Should we jump into? Oh, let's talk about your clothing.
Okay, quickly. Look, we got the new shirts. Truth Hurt shirt, bang. The shop's up there. Tech City. So shop.spreadshirt.com/Tech City. Go get yourself Truth Hurt shirt. You can even get your girlfriend one if you want, or you can get whatever. So there's shirts up there. Go grab one. But we got this PC built here, as I was saying before. So the audio should sound really good now. And we've got this PC, 550 watt power supply, 7970, 4 core, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Is going to kick ass. I'm going to put Call of Duty Infinite Warfare on there because the game's $32. Now, what I'm going to do with Infinite Warfare, right, is I'm going to fly over to Europe, buy the game and activate it, and then fly back to Australia.
What? Okay.
That's for the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's how you get it for 32 Australian dollars, which would be like 20 something USD. I mean, that's dirt cheap for a title that's just been released. Incredible. Yeah. So, have you been doing anything the last week?
Just one of them's under NDA, so I sort of have to keep it to myself till tomorrow. But yeah, if you're subscribed to my channel, you'll see it drop tomorrow morning. But yeah, so just been doing that and checking out a few other things, trying to get through the 1050 and 1050 Ti videos. So I'll be doing a showdown with them very shortly as well, and quite impressed so far. They're pretty good for Nvidia's really stepped up nicely with their entry-level GPUs this time around. I'm actually pretty impressed.
Oh, the 1050 and the 1050 Ti. Yeah, I mean, they were going to come in hard when we saw the 1060 at 200, right? You got the 1060 at 200, 3 gigabyte edition. You knew that they were coming in hard, the 1050 and the 1050 Ti. I mean, that went without saying, especially, and I saw the RX 460 performance, and it wasn't that good, like we're comparing that to a 750 Ti, and people out there are comparing it to 950s as well. And it's kind of like, this thing should be handily beating both those cards, but it really wasn't. It's
really strange. It was such a drop down because the 470 was so good in terms of value for money performance. Like the 470 is just superb. So that was quite interesting. But should we talk about Zen then?
So we'll move on. The first topic, we got AMD Zen Summit Ridge processors. Now, this is the funny thing. Okay, so we've got here, when they did the blender test, they were comparing it to I'm pretty sure it was a 6900K. Yeah, it was the 8 core from Intel, right? Yeah. Now, we've got here the rumors that are coming in 250 to 300 US. Now, they're saying, it's going to have performance similar to a 6850K, which is a $600 CPU. Now, me personally, I buy the 28 PCIe lanes. I got the 6800K here. I've got the 5820K. They're the 6 cores that matter, right? They're the 6 cores that are coming in right 400 whatever.
Yeah.
And they perform just like a 6850K too, right? You're only buying the extra PCIe lanes. So who in their right mind is going to start comparing it to a higher priced CPU that really not a lot of people are buying? That's what I don't like straight away from the get-go. It's like, let's compare this to a $400 CPU. Okay, so AMD are releasing a $300 CPU with 2 more cores that's going to perform similar to a 6-core from the competitor that's $100 more. That's what we're looking at now, realistically. Let's cut the crap out of the news here. Is that realistic? Sure, they can be releasing the CPU at $300. But what I don't like is that it's got 8 cores versus 6 on the Intel if it's performing similar. Doesn't that tell you that IPC is going to be maybe 25% less? I don't know, right? So we're just
it's quite bizarre. Because that picture they have underneath that says Zen 8-core 16-thread, and then beside they have 8-core 16-thread Broadwell E, which is the 6900K.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the top of the article is the 6850K. Because that's a 6-core.
That's what I mean.
So, it's weird.
I know why. They think a lot of viewers are dumb. That's why. But not the audience in Tech City. They're not dumb. These guys know their stuff, man. Like, it's funny because a lot of the guys in the audience, sometimes, man, they pull me up on things and I'm like, hey, I got to look knowledgeable here, folks. But no.
Well, I mean, it's yeah, you're completely right. And if we look back to Haswell, like what you were saying, yeah, it's. I mean, the 6900K is effectively a 5960X, isn't it? With two of the cores disabled. It's pretty much it's very similar. So.
6950X, yeah, 6950X.
Yeah, 69, yeah. I think it'll be quite interesting, but I always worry about this from AMD because a lot of times their marketing and their overhyping is really misleading. And then when people actually get it to test, it'll have performance. I'm not doubting that Zen will be a high-performing CPU. I'm pretty sure it will. What I've seen on paper would lead you to believe that, but I just worry about them saying, it's going to waste, say, a 6900K at half the price or something. I mean, that's a tall order to deliver on. So, it'll be interesting. But I thought what also was interesting is the little sort of spec sheet you guys can see there is if you look AMD Raven Ridge, which will be on the Zen architecture as well. If you go down the GPU architecture on it, I'm guessing this is going to be a very high-end APU since it only goes up to 4 cores, is Vega. So that will be very interesting also. So quite cool. And also they're saying it might be running HBM memory. That'll be what it supports. So could be very interesting there on the APU side of things. Could be hotting up in the future to pretty good performance.
APUs, they're getting okay. I mean, they have been always okay, but there's still they're always that. Yeah, they're never comparable like to a discrete CPU and GPU.
Yeah.
That's still kicking its ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not. Me, I have to see it to believe it on APUs, but for Zen, especially on the CPU line and the AM4 motherboards, we have to see something. We have to, otherwise AMD are done, like pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they got it good from the marketing perspective because they can say what they're saying already is around 40% IPC gains on Zen compared to Excavator, which is pretty good from a marketing perspective. It's because Excavator is so old now. But, it's still 28 nanometer. But for Intel's perspective with Kaby Lake, I mean, as people are saying, it's about a 1% IPC. So I think from a marketing perspective, they'll be able to exploit that. But we'll have to see in the real world how well it does. And a lot of people are very, very interested because if this does good for AMD, then it's going to really hammer Intel in a market that they've almost had a monopoly in.
Yeah, but when I see performance equivalent to i7 6850K, it's kind of like I get worried because, sure, it's going to be $300, but this is going to be their flagship, right? They don't have any more than 8 cores coming out on AM4. Like, this for enthusiasts, it's overclockable. So it's like, they're going to need a 12 core to compete with Intel's 8. I'm sort of worried.
Wasn't there a 16 core coming out, or is that just for?
I think that was just for lols and for servers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I thought 8 core would be the. I mean, they've been on about 8 cores for a long time now, going back to.
Yeah.
Bulldozer was 8 core as well. So it would seem maybe backwards to a lot of people for them to go down from that.
But I mean, the thing is it possible that this will come out at 300 US? And I think. Now that I'm looking at it, right, if the performance is on par with the 6850K, then yeah, I think it will be coming out at 300 US. If the performance is on par with a 6900K, then you can expect to pay more for this thing. So that's all. That's it.
It's a bizarre thing as well because it doesn't. They never said how they were. Or at least I can't remember if they did. When they were showing the comparison, was that single-threaded or was that multi-threaded?
It was multi-threaded, but still they were comparing to a 6900K. That's the thing. You had 8 cores versus 8 cores, and you had them at roughly the same clock speed. So it was really looking good. It was really looking good. But now we're kind of getting these articles out, and I'm worried. I'm like, okay, because it was only a blended test, right? We didn't see any other tests. We didn't see, especially the Cinebench, which I'm really looking forward to because that's just like raw,
Grunt, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting, and the single-threaded performance as well, because that's what will count for a lot of people out there too. Multi-threaded is fine, and it's good, especially for people using it for productivity stuff, which there will be probably a market for, especially if it's coming in at that price point. People that are looking for a good workhorse type CPU, but they don't really have the budget to jump up to, say, something like a 6900K, which is a very expensive CPU.
Yeah.
I think that'll be very, very good for those people out there. But yeah, it's hard to say right now, but I can say personally that I'm very excited and I hope it does well, not because I'm being an AMD fanboy, but I just think Intel really needs the kick in the backside to make them either drop prices or really start to innovate, and they need the competition. I think it would be very good for all the consumers out there.
It would be, man. It would be. We need this competition. We need it soon. Otherwise, it's just like, I've always been sort
Intel's
of cautious.
Just getting lazy.
Yeah, I've been cautious about, and this is like when I read news like this again, I just get more cautious. So, AMD Zen guys, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be the best thing ever? I'm hoping it will be. I'm optimistic about it being the best thing ever. But when I see news like this, I kind of get down. Because, I'm looking forward to something new, and I'm sure a lot of other people are. But that being said, Electronic Arts rolls out new disclosure rules for streamers and influencers. Do you want to take this one away? Because you're well versed in this.
Yeah, so basically they're saying now, this is something I've talked about a lot in the past with tech reviewers and game reviewers being biased or being bought out, and something I've sort of rallied against a lot. But EA's doing something really good. So basically there's going to be two types. There's going to be supported by EA and advertisement. So if it's supported by EA, that means it covers all content that EA has supported, such as through invitations to events or shows or coverage of travel expenses. EA will have no direct influence over the creation of the content, however. So that basically means that EA has taken a game reviewer or something, brought them to an event, they have tried out a game, and then they've put out a video about it.
Yep.
And so then they would have to say, right, this supported by EA thing.
Well, I like that. Yeah, I like that one. That one's my favorite. I like that one there.
Yeah. That's nice, and it lets everybody know. So that's for any YouTuber, streamer, active influencer, as they're saying. And they will now need to run that watermark at the bottom of their video or whatever. So that's really good. And then there's the advertisement, and that's for pretty much, they're just saying actual advertising. So content that EA could have editorial influence over, or content that EA itself has created. So that means people who have been paid directly and have made a video for them, they will need to say that it's an advertisement for EA. Or even if I don't think they're being paid, but EA has some creative control over the video that they're doing directly, then they'll also need to say it's an advertisement. So I think this is very good. I think it's going to be good for game reviewers have probably had it pretty rough. I mean, I even saw sort of like headlines about it here about them, a lot of people losing faith in them, and a lot of them being extremely bought out.
I have been myself, man. I mean, I read these game reviews. It's like, this thing's the best in the world. Then you go play it. It's like, this is mediocre, man. It shouldn't be getting the scores it's getting. But I like the first one, supported by EA. Sounds good. Second one's basically you're getting that review, but it's really a showcase. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's do a showcase, but let's call it a review. I mean, so the second one's kind of like, do you even want to watch it kind of thing? So, I mean, the first one's supported by EA. Okay, these guys have, EA have given them a game or whatever, and, they've paid for a few things, but they're still going to have their own opinion, which is good. So I'll be looking at the first one and being like, I'll watch content with the first hashtag. The second one, I might just like be, okay, cool, I'll see you later. I mean, again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good for people, and it will tie in well with what Steam announced that we talked a little bit about last week, and that now every game on Steam going forward from, I can't remember when they will start to enforce it, but they will not be able to run like artwork and things like that for their games pictures. When you're going in the store to look at a game to buy, you'll have to use in-game screenshots only, so that people, as they say, it's called the No Man's Sky effect, that people will actually know what the game's about. Because a lot of times it is confusing. You don't actually know what type of game it is, because all the pictures they have are just artwork type ones, which do look nice, but people need to know what type of game it is and have screenshots so they can really understand what they're buying. So I think that's really good from Valve as well.
Yeah. So I got asked in the comments, Cabby Lake has been released, has been leaked on NCIX. So I haven't heard of that yet. So
yeah, man.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Oh my god!
Can check it out
I got
if you
trolled by WCCF Tech again. Wow. Like this thing, you can't even close this thing down. Like, okay,
I see what you're talking about now.
You can't even close it down. Like, like what the hell? Oh my god, this is terrible. Like, I put on ad block as well just for this one because it's ridiculous. I'm trying to do a stream here and I've got this freaking ad just like popping right up in my face that you can't even close down. And I press escape.
Scroll down?
Yeah, we'll just scroll down and ignore it. Yeah, but it'll keep running adverts. Like, it'll just keep running. So we'll close this tab after we're done. But basically, Coffee Lake. Let's talk about it. Another iteration that's coming out on 14 nanometer. Like, I thought Intel's new strategy was like TikTok or whatever it was, but like now it seems like they're changing it again because Coffee Lake is 14 nanometer again. But this time around, interestingly enough, we're going to get a 6-core 12-threaded CPU on their mainstream motherboards, apparently.
Which needed to happen a long time ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think this being stuck on... oh, no, but that would be in that graph. It's Coffee Lake X, so wouldn't that be their Enthusiast series, not the standard line?
No, I'm thinking it's coming out to the standard line. Like it's saying here, Intel mainstream chips with up to 6 cores, you know. So February 2018. Oh, okay. So, you know, obviously the X line is going to get their hash of treatment probably 2019. You know, who knows when that's coming out because they're still going to release Skylake X and, you know, but yeah, people are saying in the comments, I got these military ads because of my haircut. That was good. I like
it's
it.
It's a hard case.
I love it, boys.
Yeah, no, it should be really interesting. And I'm very surprised that they won't be dropping down to 7 nanometer, which is what a lot of people would be expecting. So hopefully they do, because AMD will reportedly be dropping down to 7 nanometer for their CPU release in 2019.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. It would be funny, actually, that AMD would be ahead of Intel, even though Intel has been creaming it for so long. They should be the ones leading and AMD chasing. So that would be a very bizarre situation if that was to come to light. But it could, yeah. Is this being 100% confirmed? Because
no one knows. It's rumor mill, man. It's 2018.
Rumor, yeah. I would.
It's rumor mill stuff, I guess. So.
coming
Especially from WCCF Tech, right? You know, so we'll close that down. They can keep their military advertisement. Star Citizen, is this now? We're going to go straight into here. Like Star Citizen, you know, no one wants to touch Star Citizen, especially devil's advocates. You know what I mean? No one, like, lately you talk about, oh, don't talk about Star Citizen, man. This is the best thing ever known to man. Like, no one ever touches this topic, Star Citizen. Right? All you ever hear is it's coming, it looks amazing, the demos look amazing. And, you know, the demos do look good. Okay, some of the demos do look good, but they look like far from finished, right? Far from a finished product. I mean, very far. Yeah. You know, they recently released this demo where, you know, these guys were, you know, team deathmatch in space or something. It looked like a mix between Battlefield and COD with, you know, massive amounts of stuttering. And I mean, this is $120 million. I mean, it's like, when does someone just start putting their foot down and saying, okay, this is dragged on long enough? Like, when are you getting a product, like not an alpha or whatever, you know? Because like I remember seeing when StarCraft 2, right? We look at StarCraft 2, for example, that was in alpha. I remember seeing that in alpha. Now that looked like a really polished game, even in alpha. That was ages away from release. This was like ages before release. You had people testing the game. It looked amazing. Now, Yeah, this is in alpha. It's not. It's not even an alpha. I wouldn't even call it an alpha. It looks like it's whatever. Point
Pre-alpha.
20% of alpha. Like you gotta like. I mean, I'm not gonna bash on, but it's like it's been so long now.
Yeah,
And
people have been waiting a long time. They just, I mean, it's a fun game. I have tried it. It is quite good. I definitely like the idea of it. There's a lot of appeal there, but how it's actually translating so far into an actual game is sort of been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But we can hope that they will turn around. It should really be sped up. This is taking a very, very long time.
well, I mean,
longer than it
the
should.
bottom line is this. The bottom line is this trajectory of funds, right? They went up, 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 like really fast too. And then now they're plateaued, and now the trajectory of funds is going down. So in other words, they better start releasing something soon, or they're going to go out of business. Just based on the trajectory of funds, right? So you look at business models, right? And they do this. These guys, their business model is starting to go down now. So, yeah. And I mean, I saw another demo, like this massive demo where this going through like, just, keeps going through this world, and it's really big and all that, but it was a bare world. There was nothing in it. And then like they land a ship, and then like they go drive a little bike, and then there's this like Star Wars rip-off mission. And I was just like, I was face palming. I was like, oh God. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's times where, I mean, I'm going to start putting my foot down, because we talked about Star Citizen. I think I talked about it with Joker like ages ago.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just, when's it coming? When's this game coming? When are we going to get a finished product that's out there and people can play, and people can start obviously spending their money on buying skins, or if there's a monthly fee or whatnot, because these guys, their trajectory of funds is going down. It's going to be bust dollar soon if they don't make or break. Like, the time is coming now for them to make or break. So
exactly.
Yeah.
They need to get it together.
Okay. Yeah, Kev, do you want to search NCIX i7-7700K? Do you want to go search that quickly while I'm just we talk about Nvidia? I'll quickly take away. Do you want to say anything about Star Citizen though before we go?
Nah, that's all I really.
Oh, okay, you don't want to touch on it. You just want to okay, we're not going to touch on Star Citizen. No, don't touch on that. You cop the massive amounts of hate. But yeah, we're going to hit Nvidia gains, Nvidia, and also the whole market, the PC market share. We're going to talk about that. 2016, over $200 billion has gone into PC hardware. That is huge. Consoles have got 90 billion, and arguably consoles have been doing terrific. PS4, Xbox One, whatever. So PC hardware has a lot of money in it. Now, actual console to console is is doing a lot differently. Like, so you got consoles, whatever, they're selling for $400 a pop. Now, the average person would be spending a lot more on PCs per person, right? It'd be like what there's people spending like 3,000 or 4,000 on a PC, right? That's 10 consoles.
Well, that would be at the higher end, but that most people, I think, spend around probably 1,500 to 2,000 Australian-ish would be what your tip median would be. Yeah,
well, so I mean, this is really good news, but at the same time, it's like I'd still say console gamers kind of maybe outnumber PC gamers, maybe.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Like,
so just
in terms of, especially in terms of buying AAA titles and stuff like that. So
it would be the kids as well. I mean, parents that want to buy a game system for the kids, and they'll just buy that, and it's much easier. I mean, they definitely still have their place, as much as PC enthusiasts like to think they don't. The reality is they have a place, or else there wouldn't be such a huge market for them. But I just checked out this NCIX KB Lake CPU leak, and all it is basically is this saying that the i7 700K got leaks, and it's coming out with 8 megs of cache, 4.5 gigahertz, and they're saying the price was 538 Canadian, so 400 US, and that's basically it. So, and they're saying it's going to be Oh, okay. No, they didn't say it. Base clock is 4.2. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, yeah, so...
Yeah,
okay.
that's what the... Okay, so that's all it was, basically, saying... So price-wise, that's pretty much what I think a lot of us were expecting anyway.
Oh, okay, in stock. I see. Someone put up a screenshot of it being in stock.
Yeah, you've got it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I was just looking at, but that's
okay,
about
but
it.
Okay, so it's not in stock anymore?
No, they said, I read that they pulled it down because obviously it'll still be under NDA, I believe.
Okay. So there's no actual product, like no actual benchmarks and stuff. Here's Cinebench score and stuff like that. Okay, no. Okay. Guys, if you're gonna like keep spamming it in chat, like at least make a huge news topic. Come on.
Unless they were meaning something else, but I can't find anything else that's
Come on. Okay, anyway, back to the GPU shipments. 40% increase. Nvidia are pretty much up, 39%, sorry. 39% increase.
Yeah.
AMD shipments are increased 20% too.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, right? So everyone's doing better here. Intel's, I guess, GPU you'd say their integrated iGPUs, shipments were up 18%.
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone's doing better. It's really good news. I love hearing news like this. Everyone's grabbing a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it's just because there's the new GPUs out now, and I expect that it will jump even higher with AMD when Vega comes out, when we get the RX 490.
Yeah.
I think it'll do another big jump, and of course then Nvidia will get a big jump as well. Maybe not a huge amount with the 1080 Ti because it'll only be the enthusiast buying it, but it'll still get a little bit of a jump anyways. So yeah, I imagine it's just because...
I think it'll be a bunch of everything, right? Used GPUs are coming down a lot, and that's thanks to those $200 GPUs. Like GTX 1060 at 200 is really good value. Same with an RX 470, which can be a little bit cheaper, whatever. Those two cards are really, I think, doing a lot of or bringing a lot of people into PC gaming, because it's like, okay, time to build a PC because you can get a GPU that performs really well at 1080p, like extremely well, and it's cheap. It's not going to break the bank. So I think those two GPUs in part would are doing really well. So the value's definitely there in PC gaming. I'm really impressed with what both those companies have brought to the table with those two GPUs. Exactly. I think they're actually really damn good. So I guess that's another driving force, is that it is a really attractive market too at the same time. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really good right now for pretty much, if you're a person in the market for a GPU to upgrade, which, let's be honest, that's the most important part of any gaming PC, because that's where you're going to see the biggest difference in terms of performance. Right now it's really good for the mid-range, because you've pretty much all the mid-range GPUs have come out. You've got the 480 and 470 for AMD, and you've got the 1060. I suppose the 1050 Ti probably doesn't really count as much, but you've got the 3 gig and 6 gig 1060s, and you might be able to get yourself a cheap 1070 as well. So it's really good for the mid-range. We're just now waiting on that high ends, because right now you've got the 1080 basically up there. I know you could say the Titan XP, but let's be honest, that's the 1080 is the main high-end one. And that's where it'll be interesting going forward with Vega obviously competing. I very much hope it blows the 1080 out of the water, because that would be very good. And then the 1080 Ti, as I predict, will then blow Vega out of the water. So that's probably what will be happening going forward, and that'll be really good. And then you'll have the full range. Then you'll have the entry level 1050, 1050 Ti, and 460. The mid-range 470, 480, and the 1060, and then you have a good high range there, 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti, and Vega, which will be at least 2 GPUs. So people saying it's just going to be one are kidding themselves. It'll definitely be 2.
It'll be 2, definitely. Yeah,
a 490 and a 490X.
That's what I think.
There'll be one that will be a slightly trimmed down version. That the 490 will probably be to go against the 1070, and then the 490X or whatever, that'll be the 1080 killer, which will most likely get killed by the 1080 Ti, because that'll be running the same GPU as the new Titan runs. So that'll probably, but it'll be significantly expensive. So yeah, it'll be interesting. This will be really good. And some people are saying, yeah, Fury 2. I mean, that could be true, but yeah, and people, I don't see Vega blowing the 1080 Ti out of the water. That would, to go against that Titan GPU would be very yeah, that would
they
be
would need a new architecture, to be honest.
I don't think Vega would be able
we're
to
not going to
do
get that out of GCN. I don't think.
Yeah, they might do the. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they might do the dual GPU, which AMD's done in the past. So yeah, sure, that's a great prediction. I think that will be a very real thing. That'll be two Vegas together on one PCB. That will probably
that could be a Fury X2 or whatever. Yeah, that could be a Fury X2.
Yeah, so. Fury 2. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, but very interesting. Yeah, it's probably what I'm excited about Zen, but I'm more excited for Vega just because I think it's going to make the GPU market, if it does well, really, really competitive, and that'll be great to see.
I'm really excited for Vega because I got to say, Nvidia's drivers and especially the GeForce experience and like telemetry, all this crap, their drivers are going to shit. Like Nvidia, if you guys are watching this, please fix your fucking drivers up. Make Shadowplay back to what it was. Get rid of telemetry, and I'll be happy as Larry, man. It's stupid what they're doing with these drivers. It's disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying. I get a performance hit just for clicking and just for having Shadowplay even ready to go. Like, come on. What you guys get rid of this account crap for GeForce Experience. Just make it back to the old way it was.
I really didn't like that. Yeah. I really didn't like that they did that.
Now I'm recording. Like, I'll take a quick snippet for a video I'm doing. And now I take a snippet. I've got to wait like 5 or 6 seconds for this stupid message to come off and on. You're now recording. I clicked the freaking hotkey. Like, I know I'm recording. There's the icon there telling I'm recording as well. Like...
it's really cheeky.
It's the biggest facepalm. Like, it's the biggest facepalm they did with their software. Like, okay, just when you install Nvidia software, just have it noob option, person who knows what he's doing option. I'll click on that one. I'll click on the person who knows what he's doing option, and give it to me. Raw, baby. None of this telemetry crap. None of all these noob messages popping up. Sure, some people might like that, but I got to rant about it because it's pissing me off lately when I've been producing content and whatnot,
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
and AMD, like, I installed the 7970 the other day, and they've got the options there, minimalist install, and then they've got this software. And the minimalist install was so good; it just installs the driver, which is really cool. Like, AMD, I'd say this, it's true. Like, people are arguing. I'd say, AMD's drivers are starting to get better than Nvidia's, which is blowing me away. It's like, what? Because once upon a time, AMD drivers were terrible.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're
so
100% correct. So it'll be very interesting going forward there. And what ties in really nicely with us talking about drivers is Civ 6, which they're saying that the DirectX 11 versus DirectX 12 performance on Nvidia is pretty much identical.
What's this for? Sid Meier's?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do that now? So, we had that article coming up, but we'll do it now, though, since we're talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just thought we're talking about drivers, and that's exactly what it is. Like with NVIDIA, that's not really that good on NVIDIA, but AMD, on the other hand, you'll see bigger gains.
We've got another word here. Sid Meier's, yeah? Or Sid Meier's?
Sid Meier's.
Sid Meier's.
Myers, I think it was.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I just want to take a different perspective.
Most people don't usually say. They just say Civ 6. You just say. You wouldn't say the whole thing.
Sid Meier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna look at Sid Meier's Civilization 6 DX12 versus DX12. Now they only tested this on Nvidia cards at the moment, apparently. So we've got the performance benchmarks here, and you want to do a drum roll? Okay. Yay, fuck all of a difference. Okay, so we got here DX12 versus DX11. And, you've got more, the thing is, you've got more GPU utilization apparently with DX12. But you're not seeing, you got 97% versus 73%, and you're not getting any difference in results. So it's, Like, I mean, this DX12 update is kind of useless, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this will be addressed in the future. It is still early days, so this will probably be sorted further down the road. But yeah, it's still quite shocking early on. And in general, if we look sort of back at games that have come out, AMD has generally done quite a bit better in regards to DirectX 12 than Nvidia. But a lot of people also say that's the reason that Nvidia released such good DirectX 11 drivers, that there isn't such a huge discrepancy where AMD, maybe their drivers on DirectX 11 are not as optimized. So, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting going forward. Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Like, DX12 has been crap so far. We haven't seen anything realistically good out of it yet. I mean, we've been getting trickled out shit. Like, that's the bottom line with DX12. And everyone's like, oh, DX12, Windows 10, you got to update to Windows 10. I was the same. I was on that same boat. Oh, you got to update the DX, Windows 10 to get DX12. Looking at it now, it's just been a complete flop.
Like, I think it'll get better in the future. That's for sure.
I honestly, I don't know if it will, man. I mean, I'm worried. When are we gonna see like a game that's just built from the ground up? It's just total kick-ass on DX12. And
DirectX 11 is so old though. I mean, we can't see unless everyone goes to Vulkan. But
it works. It's working. DX11's working.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's just
it's better than DX9. It's better than DX9. It's got less overhead than DX9. It's working better. And DX12 is just now DX12 is taxing the GPU more, and you're getting the same frames. Whoa! So
yeah, I mean, Vulkan's definitely people with AMD graphics cards have seen very good games.
Yeah, Vulkan is good. Vulkan has been good, especially with Doom. That was impressive, especially not really. I mean, the GPUs it was good to see a GPU side gain. That was really cool. I really liked that. But also people with the dual Xeons, man, with all those threads, and really like we're talking like dual GTX 1080s could now really utilize all those threads on Vulkan. That was impressive. I saw one guy with the dual rig that I had, and he had two 1080s or something, and it's just, you saw all those threads just being utilized to Kingdom Come. That was a really cool thing. We just jumped off drivers, but do we want to jump back on drivers, right? Apparently Nvidia released a 375.86 and it was like leaking memory. It was down clocking the memory like severely, and then they released another driver recently which apparently fixes it. So I don't know. Yeah,
there's been a lot of problems lately with Nvidia drivers. If you guys are running them, you will notice the amount of drivers coming out lately has been
I should just go in the title mass, like Nvidia drivers in turmoil. Like we should just start doing it. So Nvidia in disarray, and then you look at the real news. Their GPU shipments are up 40%. They're doing better than ever. But you got to do a new age CNN spin on this. Hey, Nvidia drivers in turmoil. Company's about to go bankrupt. But it's far from the truth.
It'll be fine. It's just a little hiccup they've had. I mean, but they've been having a lot more lately. It used to be one of the biggest things to do with Nvidia that people liked was how good the drivers were by comparison to AMD. But lately they've been dropping the ball.
They have been. We got here the Z270 Fatality motherboard has been pictured. Have you got? Got that. So it's been pictured. It's got Julian IC, which is pretty cool for a consumer motherboard, especially for the Fatality as well, and the consumer grade motherboard, and that's really cool. Like, Asrock have been doing some pretty solid things. Like, I like what they've been doing with motherboards. Me personally, I'm working with them pretty closely as well. You've seen a few motherboard reviews, because like when the X99 boards first came out, I was having a lot of problems on other X99 boards. I tried the Asrock board, freaking bang, man, hit every point, it hit every nail on the head, and I was like, ever since then I've been loving a lot of Asrock boards. They haven't really let me down. Like, I've had the faulty one, whatever, here or there. That one that I had in the States, but I'd say that was an open box from Micro Center. It wasn't really, you can't really pin the blame on Asrock for that one, but I've really been liking what I've seen out of Asrock, and this, I'm looking forward to their Z270 series, even though I'm not looking forward to Kaby Lake.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I see the Rare IO really interested me. The 2 Ethernet ports. That'll be quite good as well.
Yeah. It'll have wireless. We'll have wireless as well, dual wireless there because it's got the 2 rings there. So
this looks quite interesting. I think it'll be all right. I mean, what you said about X99 was true for me as well. I mean, and when I read about it, a lot of people had trouble on the X99 platform.
When it first came out, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. Yeah. And these were I tried the Asrock boards. It was bliss. It was like, oh, this is the way it should be right now. My 5820Ks, it's just running so well. Everything works. Onboard audio was really good too. That was something about Asrock when they hit with X99. The onboard audio was extremely good. The mic in too. So on to better news. On to some better news. AMD Radeon GPUs limit HDR color depth to 8-bit over HDMI 2. So kind of weird. I think who's sort of like, I think they're both like, the people who make the standard for HDMI 2 are like, no, it's not our problem. We've got it in the standard. And then AMD's like, well, we can't use it. And I think AMD I'm kind of believing AMD on this part because they're already allowing it to go over DisplayPort 1.2 and up. So you've got 10-bit color depth over DisplayPort 1.2 and above, but you can't get it over HDMI 2. So something going on here. I'm not exactly entirely sure what's going on here and what the problem is and why they can't get it over the HDMI 2.0 standard, but something. It's something software wise. Bandwidth wise, HDMI 2.0 does as good as DisplayPort 1.2, so there's definitely something funny happening here. But yeah, I mean, in terms of when these came out, HDMI 2.0 was very good, and AMD did take a long time to implement this on their GPUs, which upset a lot of people that, things like the Fury X didn't feature HDMI 2.0, which at the time all the high-end Nvidia graphics cards already did. So not the best, but I think this will be something that's addressed relatively quickly through some sort of software fix. Yeah, it will not be a hardware problem. I would very doubt it's a hardware issue. Yeah, to do with HDMI 2.0. Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
All right, Call of Duty. Go pick it up. $32. Infinite Warfare. I had that up there because I was going to buy it. I was going to use it in that PC that I just built. So this is the sub 200 USD Call of Duty Infinite Warfare PC. That's going to be hitting the channel. I'll be testing Battlefield 1 on it too, see how well that runs. I'll be testing a few other games like CSGO. But we've got here little Julian Assange, man. He's getting astroturfed. Apparently Wikileaks is under government control now. Wikileaks is under government control. Assange has not even been seen for 30 days. Apparently he might even be dead. I'm going to say he had a huge influence over those US elections, right? He leaked some pretty damning stuff on Hillary. That was, that was crazy, right? So, this is a problem. If this is true, if there's truth to this, then I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, what the hell? He's just trying to do the right thing by public and society and show us what we're really being exposed to, And it's a scary world, man. That's like at the end of the day, it's a freaking scary world that we live in. If this is, if this is carrying weight to it, which it looks kind of like it does,
It could, although I'd be very.
I mean,
I don't know how he would die in the embassy.
Well, apparently they were saying viral hoax claims WikiLeaks. This is another article, but again, these guys aren't really providing any proof that this isn't a hoax kind of thing. There's just it's kind of like you read the Tweaktown article. It's more believable than the other article. I'll say that. So this is actually pretty damn scary. So apparently WikiLeaks is not even under control by Julian Assange anymore. The rumor is that CIA and another department came in, bossed it.
Which would be bizarre because they were always saying that the Democrats are saying that WikiLeaks was leaking stuff stolen by the Russians. So it would be strange, but it's hard to say. Right now it's all just rumors, so I think it'd probably be better if we wait till there's something more concrete. to go off, but this is
no, but I mean, it's leaking secrets, but those secrets are scary, dodgy. Man. Like, those secrets are freaking scary, dude. Like, you read some of that stuff, man. Some of that dirt is terrible. Like, I was watching this thing, I don't know why it popped up on my YouTube. Like, she was, Hillary was, like, in court, like, like, they're like, why did you let these people who requested more security detail for, like, years, why did you not give them more security? And she's like, oh, just started, like, literally just started, like, deflecting so hard, the whole thing. And they're like, look at this. You're doing it. Like, they're just telling her straight up, you're doing a terrible job. And, you know, she's like, oh, no. I'm just it was just so bad. Like, you know, if you're in the States, you should be glad that Hillary didn't get elected of anyone. That, like, god damn.
I think a lot of people felt like they didn't really get... It's sort of like how a lot of my Australian friends say as well, that there's not really good choices out there right now, which is sort of the downfall of democracy.
But I mean, the thing is, but anyone but her, like, god damn, man, like, anyone but her. Like, just, I mean,
but yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated if there's something happens with this, but as of right now, there's...
hey, this just went up $50. No way. I had this up before. This monitor was at $350 before. It was the LG 27-inch 4K monitor. It was up. Like, I found it, like, damn, I wanted to say, like, if you guys wanted to get a 4K monitor that's absolutely kick-ass, it's got FreeSync and whatnot. It was like $350 before. Now it's gone up to $400. So it's kind of, so...
do we want to... I'll talk quickly about just something I want to talk about the community. But if you guys want to leave any questions for us, we can start gathering some of those up. Just anything to do with like GPUs, CPUs, anything, maybe builds you're going to do. Any questions you have, just start shooting through to us, guys, and we'll answer them. But I just wanted to say... to do with that community, I've made a whole video about...
before we get onto that, we'll quickly plug the giveaway.
We'll talk about the giveaway.
Okay. Giveaway is over 10,000 entries. Kev's going to be shaving his head and his beard. He's going to go for the Tech City look. You know, he might even get some military ads popping up on his browsers soon. And and then we got I will be doing a public unboxing. No ETA on that just yet, but there'll be a public unboxing coming soon. A lot of people requested a strip club. If I did that, I'd have to ring up and say, look, can I do this event? And I have to make the video over 18.
Never let you do it, man. You can never bring cameras in.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, true.
Yeah, you can't bring cameras in. They go. Of course, I wouldn't know, but that they get. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't. You'd get in more trouble. Just do something like a busy cafe or something in a downtown type area or something. That would probably be pretty good. Or a Westfield or something.
Okay. So we got why everybody in the last article, promise you guys, and then we'll go to Q&A. Everybody loves Overwatch's Sombra. Do you want to talk about Sombra?
Oh yeah, I forgot. So Sombra's out. If you guys play Overwatch, you might have tried her out. She's very complicated to play. She runs a SMG that's like an Uzi, and so it's very high rate of fire. It's quite good. She's a bit of fun. She takes a while to get used to. I don't know right now if she's overpowered or underpowered. Honestly, I think she feels actually pretty balanced out of the box, which is quite impressive. But it's just it's a fun new hero to try out. So if you play Overwatch and you haven't tried her out yet, give her a go. She is quite cool. She's like a hacker, and you can stop people from using abilities and stuff like that. So that's pretty good.
Sombra. Okay, I haven't played it yet. I've just been busy making all this content. I'd love to play some Overwatch.
Let's see if anyone's much at the moment. So what I was going to say about the community was one of the saddest things I see a lot of times, and Brian will definitely be able to chime in here, is that if you do anything that people see as not like... Everyone has this sort of idea of how a build's supposed to be. You're supposed to use this CPU, you're supposed to use this type of thing. And honestly, it seems like if you go anywhere outside of that, do anything new or creative, the community will just pounce on you and say, why would you run that CPU? Why wouldn't you run the i5 or something as the main one? Everyone says, anything like that. So I feel it's quite sad now that a lot of tech YouTubers feel like they can't do very original or super interesting builds for the fact that the community oftentimes will
So
just jump on them.
what are we talking about here? Like, we're talking about old FX CPUs because I haven't done a build.
Yeah,
The thing is, I haven't done an FX build because me personally, I wouldn't do an FX build because even the older Phenoms run way better. You know, like 4-core. I remember testing a 4-core, lower clocks, and it was beating an AMD 4-core that was like really recent. And it's like, people are like, oh, well, they were true 4-cores versus new 4-core. But it doesn't matter, right? It's still like, damn, AMD really with that FX lineup hasn't come far at all, right? And so I mean, I guess it's just AMD builds maybe because and that's people have, I guess maybe people have a valid point in that regard. Like for me, I would always go the old school Xeons. They just kick ass, like absolutely.
Yeah, but
kick
even
ass.
then, man, some people might go on at you about it.
But not the old Xeon. I haven't copped a lot of hate. Like if I cop hate for using old Xeons, then the boys in the comments will just go at that person. It's like, this is hands down the best value in the comment out there.
Yeah.
You just can't argue with an old Xeon, especially like a 5670 or whatnot. Like those old Xeons are just kick ass. You got like someone in the comments, the 1100T eats the 6300, and it does. It smokes it, man. This is such an old CPU, and the FX 6300s, like they're still technically their latest CPU out on the market for a 6-core. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're referring to just AMD builds on the CPU motherboard line,
I mean in general. It's just in general, it seems like I think and with jumping on people, if your results are different in a benchmark to someone else's or anything, they'll say, no, this person got this, you're wrong, blah, 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 type thing. So I just think in general, it needs to be less sort of hive-minded. Think for yourself and make your own judgments about things. So stop just repeating what you've seen someone else say. Really think for yourself when it comes to tech and stuff like that. Do your own research.
We got the website is coming as well. We got a new website. I got a whole new website, techcity.tv. It's coming. We're getting a revamp, forums, everything. A really good friend of mine, he's just said, look, Brian, your website's in dire straits, brother. You need a makeover. I just said, I couldn't agree more, brother. My previous website was terrible. So he's getting the forums up as well. He's going to get forums integrated into this. It's going to be the whole 9 yards, It's going to be awesome. So the new website will be up. I don't know the ETA, maybe give it a week, 2 weeks, but it'll be coming. So a new website is coming. So I got asked that in the questions. And we've also got there is something really cool coming too in the channel as well. I was speaking to this Russian guy, really cool guy. He was giving me the D-Lo on some pretty cool stuff. So there is going to be a very, very interesting build coming to the channel. I don't know how long it'll take, but it's going to be freaking cool.
Yeah.
So it should open some eyes. It should really open some eyes up. This thing is going to be awesome. I can't wait to do this build. So someone bought a 1231 V3. Yeah, for $209. Good buy. That's 1231 V3 is an awesome CPU, man. So
someone else saying that 4770 is still a great chip. Yeah, it was. That's what I ran, a 4770K for the longest time. Although by comparison to the 4790K, there was Canyon. The temperature difference when I actually did the showdown comparing the two of them together, boy, did that 4790K ran a hell of a lot cooler than the 4770K, which was a very hot running CPU. Oh boy, did that heat up. Someone also said, is it worth waiting for the GTX 1080 Ti or the RX 490? I would say, if you're in the market for a really high-end GPU right now, I would say just wait, because you haven't got that long to wait before either of those drop, and then you'll be able to make an informed decision from then. So if you're an enthusiast, you're going to spend a lot of money on your next GPU, you want really high-end, then wait around.
Well, with the waiting thing, it's always the question of, can you wait, right? For me, if I've got a decent graphics card at the moment, I could wait for another year, right? But if you're on, like, say, HD graphics, for instance, and you want to play those games, maybe just go out and get a 1070, Just stop hurting yourself, you know what I mean? So it depends if you're hurting yourself at the moment and what you're on. So that's what it all depends on. So I'd wait out if you can wait out, of course. It's always good to wait out until the latest and greatest drops, because not only does that drop, with its, you know, whatever it's going to offer to the table, but it also brings down the price of other cards, more importantly. So that's
exactly. So it'll be good for everybody out there right now, I think. I think it'll be worth it. Someone also said, will AMD have a Titan XP? Yes, as I said earlier, I believe they will probably bring out a dual GPU based on Vega, and that will probably be what they use to go against the Titans. And
got asked, 2 1070s or 1 Titan XP. Honestly, just get one 1070 and then just hold out for the 1080 Ti and then get that, and then you can sell your 1070. And then you can sell your 1070 and you'll just, you know, probably lose like $50 on it. So
that was the biggest mistake so many people made last time. They bought the Titan X, and then the 980 Ti came out, and the 980 Ti got almost identical performance at about half the price. So I would definitely wait. I would say that will be a similar affair with the 1080 Ti. You'll see very similar performance to the Titan XP. However, you will it'll be at a significantly lower price point. So yeah, that'll be interesting too.
Got asked in the comments, do Australians have pens? Yeah, got a pen. Got a screwdriver too. Okay.
Yeah, not much else. So if you guys have any last questions for us, do you want to just shoot them through?
Yeah, shoot them through, guys. Sorry about the audio issues at the start of the stream. I'll cut that out of the stream when it goes like to archive. But yeah, won't happen again. I don't know why it did that automatically. It's like it automatically changed it back to this Realtek thing. And I was like, damn, you know. What about the tinfoil hat? I will get that made up. I forgot about it this weekend. Look, I've been on my game. I've been wearing my t-shirts. You know, I've been wearing the t-shirts. I've been putting the Jar Jar mug on cam every week. The tinfoil hat just has to come now. I agree. I could get the tinfoil hat for the whole stream. That's going to be coming soon. Ladyboys. Someone he's asking the whole episode about Ladyboys. I had a pretty cool experience. I wouldn't call it cool, right? I wouldn't call it cool, right? This was not last time I went to Bangkok. The first time I went to Bangkok, this was the first time it ever occurred to me, right? I was oblivious, and now I went into the men's toilet, right? I went to the men's toilet just to, you know, do my thing, and as I was taking a piss, there was like I looked to my right, and there's like a chick, like, you know, and then I didn't realize it was like, you know, I freaked out. I'm like, shit, am I in the ladies' toilet? Like, what the hell? Like, because there was someone in front of the mirror just doing her hair, like doing his hair. I didn't even know what you know to do there. And I walked outside. I double checked. I'm like, yeah, this is the male's toilet. You know, like, you know, and you know, I just went back in, you know, to finish off, and I was just like, shit, you know, that's a lady boy. Like that's a legit ladyboy, and it looked like a woman. Like literally, it looked like a woman. Like everything. I was just like, holy shizen, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. So
yeah, that's out of all the questions you guys ask.
I mean, he kept going on the stream, but yeah, that was the second time I went to Bangkok. I never really had any hiccups or anything, any interactions there. So you know. Yeah.
This one's quite good. We'll make this our last question because it's quite a good one by a Techno Steve. He says, "Hey guys, what is the best GPU for streaming at 60 FPS while playing on the same PC?" So streaming and gaming on the same PC. He's running a i5 4690K. That's a very good Devil's Canyon CPU, and he's running an aftermarket cooler on Asrock Z97. So if you're doing that personally right now, I'm guessing you're playing at 1080p also and streaming at 1080p. I would say, probably the 1070 would do you very well. That should give you enough. Do you agree, Brian? 1070 for a 4690K streaming and gaming at 1080p?
Yeah. So,
that should be a good model of 1070. Should be more than enough, especially if you're overclocking.
Or a 980 Ti. I mean, 980 Ti, if you can pick them up for cheaper.
Yeah, you could do that.
A lot cheaper as well. So it depends on what you got, what your budget is. But yeah, 1070, 980 Ti, they are just ridiculously powerful cards. You know what I mean? They really are. Like the 1080 is stupidly fast, and then of course if you get the 1080 Ti coming out, that's going to be even more stupidly fast. So. You know, and then you get the R9 or whatever, R9 490 come out or whatever AMD's going to do, RX 490. That's going to be a really nice card. So, you know, they're going to be nice cards. So,
you'll do well. So I'd say maybe if you can, wait just a little while longer till Vega comes out, which I'm telling a lot of people looking to buy high-end GPUs, because I would say it will bring prices down. Definitely, Nvidia will probably do a little bit of a drop in anticipation for it. So yeah, that'll be good also.
All right, guys, that's about it. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. I'm going to head to the gym, overclock myself, and
I'm juicing.
And then finish up. Yeah, we're going to finish up this PC as well. So that's just got to install the games on it too. So pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next week in the stream. Awesome stream. Sorry about the audio at the start. Whatnot. Yeah, so we'll catch you next week. Peace out for now. And I got
see you guys.
Yeah. And actually, I got to close the stream down.